What's going on, everyone, from State College, Pennsylvania? It's time for the Friday edition of the Pandemic Update. I thought I would just go ahead and do it. We're going to do a full remote pandemic update here. We're getting great Wi-Fi here from the parking lot of Wegmans, of all places. And let's just start off with India today. India recorded another 96 COVID cases in the last 24 hours. I'm not seeing any increase in deaths. I just did a research on monkeypox, did a little searching. London is going to be increasing the number of people eligible, or well, expanding, not increasing the number of people eligible, expanding the areas that can get vaccinated just because they're seeing this increase in cases and they want to make sure they can get it out to more people. And as I was searching this, I also saw there were several different countries and even some states in the United States that are now reporting new cases of monkeypox. So when I get back from my trip here, social distancing trip, I'm going to have to update the website with all the new places that are reporting monkeypox cases, and I'll be sure to tweet that out. Moving on to this now, and I think we might have reported on this already, but what the heck, we'll report on it again. 96.4 Americans had COVID-19 antibodies in their blood by fall of 2022, and we just knew that there was a large number of people that had not been counted as catching COVID. Either they didn't test didn't pick it up, whatever the case may be. And that percent, that, what is it, 3.6% that did not catch COVID, that is likely you people who are the hardcore people who try as hard as you can to avoid COVID. Now, I know I have followers that have had COVID, but I'm sure the hardcore people that still social distance. Still, don't go eat indoor dining or anything like that. Mask regularly. You're likely the ones that have hopefully not caught COVID. And if you have avoided it this far, continue doing what you're doing. And great job. All right, moving on. Walgreens this week. The National Walgreens Index. Bear with us here. Some things may load up slow. 23.1% positivity this week. Prior week was 23%. That's a difference of up 0.1%. And there was an increase in testing. And we know Walgreens, this nice map here, I believe, is not going to update anymore. We'll just have to see what happens. Because again, testing did go up. And the reason for ending it was because of testing. All right, taking a look at the wastewater. Just a note here, we are going to have the full wastewater update on Sunday. We're going, the CDC map where we go state by state and we take a look at various different wastewater sites. Already, take a look here. There's 4 regions in the United States in. Uh-oh, I'm seeing something. Mind you, some of this stuff I'm seeing for the first time as well, so this is all being done while we're recording here. The Northeast, yikes, that's not good. The northeastern states, yep, starting to rise now. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. It also looks like the Midwest is going to start rising soon as well. Dead flat in the West Coast, but that's really concerning in the Northeast because we're here at June 16th now. Just a few weeks now, it's going to be the 4th of July, and that's going to be a huge super spreader. You get parades, you get fireworks shows. It was only a matter of time. We don't have a variant update for you this week. We will get the new variant update again next Friday. So no variant update this Friday. I wasn't going to record one today if there was one, but let's take a look at the wastewater sites. 4 of them are now in the red at 80 to 100%. 23 are 60 to 79%. 40 to 59% is 105. 20 to 39% is 350. 0% to 19% is 729. And there's 131 new sites. All right. Also, we can take a look at the variant proportions. Let's do that. It should hopefully load up here. Here we go. XBB15, 39.9%. XBB116, 18.2%. XBB191 is at 12.5%. XBB116.1 is at 8.4%. XBB192 is at 8.4%. XBB2.3 is at 6%. XBB is at 3%, and XBB151 is at 1.6%. Let's take a look at the hospital ER visits and see what's going on. As you know here, the gray, the bluish green, and then this more green color, that's decreasing. This yellow yellow is stable. The oranges are rising. Hospital ER visits. And Delaware is rising, and Washington, D.C. is rising. The rest of the country is either not reporting, there are a few places not reporting, or dropping at this time, which is some good news. But I suspect we may start to see the Northeast go back up soon if wastewater is rising. We'll take a look at the wastewater sites on Sunday. Already, as promised, I think I tweeted this out the other day. We would look at the Hubbub World data now. I'm only seeing one map from them right now, and that is the exposure risk map, not the other map that shows, much higher colors on the map in relation to COVID. But that's okay. We'll just use this for now. And I do see some concerning areas on here. A couple areas that are like yellow approaching, which would be 5 on the exposure risk category. A couple of them in counties in California. Definitely some in New Jersey and Florida, and even up in New York State. South Carolina, I do see one county there. So let's just go through a couple states here. We'll start off with New Jersey, since that's the most concerning looking. And yes, the exposure risk for much of New Jersey is approaching 5. So that is a moderate exposure risk. I mean, you definitely want to be masking everywhere you go, but more so in New Jersey at this time. And let's see what's going on down in Florida at this time. Take a look at that. And in Florida, looks like the biggest risk area right now is down in Miami. And let's check out in California. And then we'll go back and check New York State. Because as you know, the Northeast is starting to rise in California. Extreme Southern California, a little concerning. Parts of Central California, a little bit of a moderate concern at this time. And now let's check New York State. And in New York State, I suspect New York City is still seeing a high exposure risk. Yes. Matter of fact, New York City is about the highest we're seeing for the entire country. Look at that. You're seeing some red here. That's approaching 10. You really want to keep yourself socially distanced there if you can, because there is a risk of catching COVID in New York City. All right, moving on now, we're going to take a look at Philadelphia EMS numbers next. And I did not tweet that. I did tweet that out yesterday. Yesterday's numbers were extremely high. There were over 900 ambulance calls in Philadelphia County yesterday, which is just crazy. Today is better. 765 ambulance calls, but again, nonetheless, that is still relatively high. Let's do a live check-in of the suburbs of Philadelphia. I want to see what the active incidents are right now in Montgomery County, and you may notice this to be a little bit high. Back at home where I live in Philadelphia suburbs, and Philadelphia itself just had some real nasty severe weather go through the area, and yeah, currently there are 17 ambulance calls. I'm seeing cardiac emergency, cardiac arrest, stroke, respiratory emergency, cardiac emergency. Let's move on to this. We can take a look at Chester County, and sick person, stroke. Not terrible in Chester County, though the calls that are dead on arrival, that's not good. And I can tell you up here, I brought a scanner with me, staying at our camp that we have up here. And I can tell you, the calls I'm hearing up here have not been good. Yesterday was very busy. At one point, the center region, which would be the central portion of Center County, which would be like the State College area, they actually ran out of ALS ambulances at one point. That's not good. And you know what? It doesn't surprise me, because if you go to places like west of State College, where my place is that we're staying at, yeah, it's the health decisions that people make are borderline, to say the least. It's very unhealthy. There's definitely a health crisis. I can fully understand why that area, the area west of State College, Pennsylvania, gets so many ambulance calls, because people just clearly don't care too much about their health. And wow, look what just happened here in Chester County, right as we're recording. All these new calls just popped up. I'm telling you, it's insanity. People believe the pandemic's over. It's not. All right, let's see what's going on in New York State. 350 new cases have been added. Positivity rate is 3.5%, and the 7-day average is 4.2%. we also want to take a look at New York State hospitalizations. We suspect sooner or later they're going to stop this bouncing off the bottom, and they're going to eventually start to rise. Let's see what happens here. So taking a look at New York State hospitalizations, the most recent update, 528 people in hospital, 49 people in the ICU. Let's take a look at New York State admissions while we're at it too. You can see admissions, they're not really dropping at this point. They're flat. If anything, the indication is it's still just bouncing off the bottom. You can see each time it tries to go up, it goes back down. Goes up, goes back down. Now it's trying to go up again. I think eventually it will go up. How much? Hard to say. Because remember, again, not everyone is being tested for COVID upon admission to the hospital, or even if they go, say they go to the ER, they're having breathing difficulty, they're feeling really sick. They're not all being tested for COVID. Now, we're looking here at New York City. Yes, there is a very ever so slightly rise in the hospital admissions. And when we take a look at the hospitalizations themselves in New York City, and I'm going to zoom this in so it's easier to see. Let's just zoom way in. Yeah, New York City, it's rising ever so slightly. 218 people hospitalized, 19 people in the ICU. Moving on now to Texas. Texas reported a slight increase in cases, 4,161 cases. Newly confirmed deaths this week, 33 versus 34, so it's down ever so slightly. And taking a look at hospitalizations, 547 hospitalizations. That is down by 57, so that is good to see. And now let's take a look at the CDC flu tracker. It is Friday. We usually take a look at this on Friday. And remember, there's 5 levels: minimal, low, moderate, high, and very high. And the low level is showing up in California. Look at Puerto Rico. Wow. Puerto Rico actually went higher. It's in the red category of high now. And that is borderline almost going to very high. So this is concerning. We have seen Puerto Rico in high levels of flu for multiple weeks now. How about District Columbia? District Columbia is Washington, D.C., is still in moderate levels. New York City is also in moderate levels of flu. The rest of the country is either in minimal, and I don't see any other areas in low. We'll have to watch Florida, because remember, they do flock inside to the air conditioning at this time of year in Florida. All right, quickly ending on a couple international numbers. Around the world, cases are down 48%. Weekly deaths down 47%. Australia, cases are down 33%. Deaths are now up 5%. Greece, cases down 62%. Deaths are down 37%. Mexico, cases down 25%. And deaths down 25%. Guatemala, cases are up 25%. Anywhere else with a big case increase? Israel, cases are up 15%. Deaths are down 8%. Bangladesh, cases up 15%. Deaths are down 80%. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Friday edition of the Pandemic Update. There will not be a Pandemic Update for Saturday. The next update, which will be a wastewater update, will be on Sunday. And either Monday or Tuesday, we will resume to our normal pandemic updates. We may do another one of those video vlogs on Monday. We'll see. I am going home on Monday, so that's the good news. And I hope everyone has a safe weekend. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, have a safe, socially distant weekend. Continue masking wherever you are. I'm going to go into the Wakeman's here, and you better believe I'm going to be putting on a fresh new N95 mask. And masking report for up here. West of this area, I have seen a 0.0 mask. Matter of fact, I had a mask on in the place yesterday. And yeah, people were staring at me. I hurried and got it out as fast as I could. Here, I feel a little better about masking because of the fact that I have seen a few people mask here in Steak. Not many. I can count the number of people with fingers on my hands, but I have seen a few masks while sitting here recording this update, and sitting here for the last few minutes. Alrighty, that does it for this update. If you like the update, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. Have a great and safe weekend, everyone. Thanks for watching.